Hello and welcome to part 3 and the final part of this LadyBoss deep dive. I wanted to do a quick disclaimer. When I had originally recorded this and had all of my paperwork, they were from a PDF. LadyBoss has taken down the links to their PDFs and copy and pasted them all to their ClickFunnels website. So now all the numbers are one because it's a fun little glitch that ClickFunnels likes to do. So just know that all of the numbers that I'm referring to are a moot point at the moment and they're just all number one. Okay. Let's get into this last part. So now we've got another bonus. This one's called the leader pool bonus. And this is for ranks 7 through 10. So from platinum to royal crown holders. Platinums get 1 credit. Diamonds get 1 additional credit. Crowns get an additional credit, and royals get an additional credit. So platinum and above ranks are eligible to participate in 4 separate leader pool bonuses, each based on 0.5% of total company BV produced over a calendar quarter and paid out quarterly. Payouts are based on all volume generated by all champions in that quarter and divided amongst all qualifying champions for each pool. So to me, this sounds like when corporate companies do profit sharing, which is amazing. My husband had profit sharing for a while, and it's just a really cool thing for companies to offer. So again, those corporate 9-to-5s that MLMers bash so often, or network marketers, they aren't that bad. They also offer this, and it's a lot more secure than this. So anyway, so who's eligible? All active and qualified champions, rank 7 or above. It is paid out quarterly. You qualify month to month, and you receive, again, 1 share for each of the ranks that you hit. Champions who have achieved the leader pool bonus will receive credits for all the pools they qualify for. So say that you're rank 10, you're a royal crown holder, you will get all 4 shares. Eligibility, you have to have a subscribe and save running month to month. You have to have 5 unique personally enrolled customers who place a commissionable order in the qualifying cycle, so that month that you are working to qualify. You have to have 200 personal qualifying volume and 800 new volume. So new customers, 800 new volume from new customers. Okay, so that's another bonus option. Again, I personally, in my opinion, believe that bonuses are hype. I believe that they're selling the dream of this MLM, and they are making these bonuses seem, in the small picture, easy to achieve, but in the bigger picture, it's nearly impossible to achieve these for the average person. Champion Lounge. The Champion Lounge provides a strategic tool for you to build your tribe. I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm just going to skim through it and give you the points because this video is getting very, very long. The key to using your Champion Lounge is to personally enroll new champions each month that you can hold in the Champion Lounge. Create momentum by mentoring them to power up start. Build volume that you can then place on the tribe of your choice. And then it says at the end, once the champions in your lounge are placed, they cannot be moved again, no exception. This I found interesting. I think that a lot of MLMs are doing this these days, where you can place your recruits essentially. So they give you a whole diagram of how you can do this. It says when you personally enroll champions, they are automatically placed in your champions lounge for up to 60 days. So they'll automatically be placed on your level 1. During that 60 days, you have the option to place them in a leg. So you can kind of essentially drag and drop your recruits wherever it is going to benefit you the most. If you decide not to move any of your champions in the Champion Lounge, or if the 60 days expire, they will permanently be left on your first level. So if you decide not to put them under one of your already existing legs, they'll just stay on your first level of recruits. Okay, so now I'm jumping to the disclosures page. Some of the things that I wanted to point out here. So if a customer places an order, then at least 2 hours later in the same month enrolls as a champion, the customer will still count toward the customer total of the champion who enrolled them as a customer, regardless of who subsequently enrolled them as a champion. If this customer enrolls as a champion less than 2 hours after they enrolled as a customer, the order will then be converted to a champion order and will not count toward the total customer count. I found that to be a little confusing and a little strange. I don't understand why they do that. More on the Powerhouse 30 bonus that we talked about when we first started going through this compensation plan, if you can remember that long ago. Subscribe and save orders are not counted toward the Powerhouse bonus. Obviously, your goal as a champion is to get the subscribe and save enrollees because that is guaranteed income every month. You're getting that, whatever it is that the BV is from that product. I don't know. I couldn't find that information anywhere, but that doesn't count toward your Powerhouse 30 bonus. So your SOL on that. If your intention is to get all of your customers on that subscribe and save, because again, that is what you want that income coming in every month, then it's not counting toward your bonus. Another thing, the BV of all applicable orders is only applied to the Powerhouse 30 and does not contribute bonus volume to any other bonus. So if you're working on your Powerhouse 30 bonus, but they also just announced, like say they just announced a trip is happening, you can't use that to work toward the trip bonus too. Or you can't use that to also work toward the disaster of a car bonus. In my opinion, it's a disaster. In my opinion, allegedly, I'm just saying. If the champion who has qualified for the Power Hour 30 is not active, their Power Hour 30 will roll up based on the line of sponsorship to the next qualified and active champion. But only the standard percentage of the Powerhouse 30 rolls up. So that is the 20% on level 1, 5 on level 2, and 10 on level 3. So that is all that's rolling up to that next qualifying champion. That I'm going to put this manifesto back up here, and we are transitioning into, let's talk about the non-disclosure agreement that they have all of the champions sign, because I found that to be pretty telling. Mutual non-disclosure agreement. Again, I am linking all of this below. I'm not going to go through every single word on this agreement because you'll get bored and you'll leave and my watch time will go down. Can I be blunt and honest? Because I like when people are blunt and honest with me. I don't want my watch time to go down. The non-disclosure agreement. I'm going to read the second whereas part. So if you're reading along, if you have all of these documents pulled up like I had, that's where we're at. Whereas the parties agree that confidential information of a party might include, but not be limited to, that party's business plan, methods and practices, personnel, customers and suppliers, inventions, processes, methods, products, patent applications, and other proprietary rights or information relating to the foundation, composition, methods of manufacture, potential uses, or their technical or scientific features, products, product plans, samples, correspondence, memoranda, prototypes, agreements with third parties, patents, patent applications, sourcing, intellectual property, data, research and development, services, suppliers, customers, or other related information. So you are essentially, when you sign a non-disclosure agreement that states all of those things, you cannot talk about anything that you learned while in the company. You're not going to be able to speak out if you leave before this agreement expires. You got to be careful. That's what I'm saying. I don't recall ever signing a non-disclosure agreement in Scentsy. That was a while ago too, so it's possible that I did, but I don't think that every MLM, or they didn't in the past, have a non-disclosure agreement for every single ambassador, consultant, rep that signed on. Okay, so we're just going to jump all the way to the last page. Number 9, this agreement shall remain in effect for a period of 3 years from the effective date, unless otherwise terminated by either party giving notice to the other of its desire to terminate this agreement. If you wanted to speak up, you would have to write into LadyBoss and say, I'm leaving as an ambassador. I also want to terminate the non-disclosure agreement, and they have to agree to terminate it. So this is in effect for 3 years when you sign it. If you get into these things and some something happens and you want to talk to somebody about it, you legally cannot unless this is dissolved. Number 10, the jury waiver. The party hereby knowingly, voluntarily, and intentionally, irrevocably waive their right to a trial. Irrevocably meaning that you can't take this away. You cannot go back on your word if you sign this paper. Waive their right to a trial by jury in any action, proceeding, or cause of action arising out of, under, or in connection with this agreement. This provision is a material inducement for each party entering into this agreement. And then it has the place for signing. Let's glaze through the terms of service really quick. There was actually just one thing that I wanted to point out, again, linked below, the chargebacks. So chargebacks jeopardize LadyBoss's merchant provider. If a LadyBoss account holder requests a chargeback, the account is immediately terminated, along with any additional LadyBoss accounts containing information associated with the chargeback. Any commissions associated with those accounts will be removed, and the account holders are prohibited from creating any new account with LadyBoss. If you encounter potential erroneous charges or need to request a refund, please contact help@ladyboss.com. This was interesting because it brings me back to like the alleged Beachbody, now known as Body, problems they had with their subscribe and save and having to have people do the chargebacks because they weren't getting their emails answered. I don't know how they are going to be handling these types of things. So they weren't getting their emails answered, so they had no other choice but to do a chargeback. That makes me question how it's going to go with their subscribe and saves and how smoothly the cancels are going to be. They claim that as long as you give them 3 days prior to the running of your subscribe and save, that you have to cancel and make sure that your card doesn't get charged. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out as well. We have the policies and procedures. I'm making this part as short as I possibly can. There were 46 pages in here, and I combed through it all. Let's talk about it, shall we? LadyBoss expects its champions will ... So again, this is just going to show that you are not the CEO of your own LadyBoss company, and you're agreeing to doing what they tell you to do. In my business, I don't do that. I do what I want to do. I have clients and I tell them my intentions, and if they don't agree with me, then maybe we part ways. But this is just showing that you are not a business owner, hun. To LadyBoss, can we stop positioning it that they are going to be a business owner, because they are not. Okay, 1.2 Code of Ethics B. Champions negative and disparaging comments about LadyBoss, its products, these policies, or compensation plan made to LadyBoss or to the field or at any LadyBoss meeting and or event, or disruptive behavior at any meeting and or event, serve no purpose other than to dampen the enthusiasm of other champions and customers. And then it goes on to say if you engage in any of these behaviors, that it may result in the suspension or termination of the offending champion account. This is all like, this whole code of ethics should be titled Toxic Positivity. LadyBoss endorses the following code of ethics. A LadyBoss champion must show fairness, tolerance, and respect to all people associated with LadyBoss, regardless of race, gender, social class, or religion, therefore fostering a positive atmosphere of teamwork, good morale, and community spirit. A champion shall strive to resolve business issues, including conflicts of disagreements, with upline and or tribe organization champion with tact, sensitivity, and goodwill, and taking care not to create additional conflict. So there was a part under the code of ethics that says LadyBoss may take appropriate action against a champion if it determines in its sole discretion that a champion's conduct is detrimental, disruptive, or injurious to LadyBoss or other champions. This is where you have to be careful and really think things through before you join an MLM and sign these papers and start to build a team, and maybe you're building a really large income and now you're adjusting your lifestyle. They have the right to decide if what you're doing is against their standards, and then they have the right to decide what appropriate action is, and their ass is covered. You can't go after them for taking your money away, your livelihood. You don't know what the appropriate action is going to be. It could be as simple as you posting like, I had a really bad reaction to this LadyBoss product. Does anybody know if Benadryl will help? It could be as little as that, and they will be like, that's negative, and now you're terminated. So think things through before you sign it, because they will not get in trouble for that because they have this in their terms of service, their policies and procedures, and you signed it. Okay, so then under training and leadership, under D, it's use of sales aids. Champions may use and publish marketing materials they designed only after such materials have been approved by LadyBoss. A champion's unauthorized use of sales aids or promotional materials, including but not limited to internet advertising and social media marketing on Facebook, Instagram, and is a violation of these policies and procedures. It may result in immediate termination of the publisher's LadyBoss account. Another 2 things to touch on. This isn't your business and you can lose it at their will. Then they have under 3.4, unethical sponsoring. Letter D, any champion who solicits or entices members of another direct sales company to sell or distribute LadyBoss products and services bears the risk of being sued by the other direct sales company. So they're just saying they are not going to protect you if you try and cross recruit. In 4.2, LadyBoss account renewals and termination of the champion's LadyBoss account due to non-payment of the annual membership renewal fee of $97. Remember, it's $97 a year to be a LadyBoss CEO. So letter A, a champion must pay a membership fee upon enrolling with LadyBoss and a membership renewal fee on an annual basis thereafter. If a champion fails to pay the annual membership renewal fee within 60 days of when it's due, the champion's account will be terminated and the champion will lose any and all rights to the account tribe organization. So you completely lose your team. You're done for if you cannot pay that $97 every year. Regardless of your rank, what you've done for the company, your team size, it doesn't matter. If you don't pay that annual fee of $97, you are kicked out. So under 4.3, effects of termination. Following voluntary or involuntary termination of a champion's LadyBoss account, such champion shall have no right, title, claim, or interest to any commission or bonus, including LadyBoss bucks, from the sales generated by the champion's former organization or any payments in association with the champion's terminated account. So say that you are on day 28 of the month and you have been crushing your sales goals. Oh well, doesn't matter. You're not getting paid. They terminated you for some dumb reason. Maybe you posted a negative comment, they found it, and you've basically been canceled. You're canceled from LadyBoss. You are not getting that commission. It doesn't matter what you say, what you do. You're not getting it, and it's rolling up to your upline, and that really sucks. They effectively waive any and all claim to property rights or any interest in or to the champion's former tribe organization, so you cannot cross-recruit if you go to another MLM. LadyBoss will likely come after you and sue you, especially if you have a large team like we've seen with WFAB. 5.3, insurance, letter A. LadyBoss encourages champions to obtain insurance coverage for their LadyBoss business. So this is the part where it is actually like they're gonna put it in your court and be like, this is your business because you have to buy insurance, but they're taking everything else from you, including like your soul, allegedly. But they're not giving you insurance. So if anything happens that has to do with your business and you don't have like an LLC in place or anything, you can get sued and they can come after your personal possessions, including your home, your car, anything that you have. They can come after it if you don't have insurance. Now, this is not something that they went over in their presentation when they were pitching this to anybody. So there's a whole section in here about if you hand down your LadyBoss business. I don't think they're going to be around long enough for that to happen. That's in my opinion. They have a whole section where you are signing like what the rules are for your successors. So under 6.10, Letter G, if the successor is already an existing champion, LadyBoss will allow such champions to keep his or her own position plus the inherited positions active for up to 6 months. By the end of the 6-month period, the champion must have compressed, if applicable, sold, or otherwise transferred either the existing position or inherited position. Say, I don't know, a mom recruited a daughter. We've all seen it before. It's gross, but it happened. And the mom passes away. The daughter now has the option to take on that position. Say the mom is a higher rank. They can take on that position, but they have to reach that rank within 6 months. And if they reach it, they can transfer their rank to somebody else or compress it, meaning go inactive, or vice versa. If they don't reach that rank, they have to take their mom's rank and either, again, compress it, make it go inactive, or transfer it to somebody else. So, very interesting. Letter H of the same section is if the successor wishes to terminate the LadyBoss position, he or she must submit a notarized statement stating the desire to terminate the position along with a certified copy of the death certificate, appointment as trustee, and or any other appropriate legal documentation. I am sorry. The last thing that anybody is going to be worried about when they lose a loved one is reaching out to the MLM they were part of to dissolve their account. So I wanted to go over number 7.3 suspension procedures, and I don't want to read it all to you guys because it's super lengthy, but I wanted to show you the actual step that they say they will take for suspension and termination. The first violation is counseling and initial warning letter. So they're going to reach out to you and let you know you screwed up, you did something wrong. The second violation is a second warning letter and a temporary suspension. So you're suspended for a little while. Third violation is suspension and final written warning. The fourth time you get terminated. But LadyBoss reserves the right to combine and omit steps depending on circumstances of each situation and the nature of the violation. So I'm willing to bet that they're going to skip A through C and go straight to D for termination if anybody ever does anything. Here it is. Here's the good part. 8.6 Class Action Waiver. The parties expressly intend and agree that class action and representative action procedures are hereby waived and shall not be asserted, nor will they apply in any court or arbitration. And the parties will only submit their own individual claims in any court or arbitration and will not seek to represent the interests of any other person. As a LadyBoss champion and or customer, I agree that I will not assert class or collective action claims against LadyBoss in arbitration, court, or otherwise, nor will I join or serve as a member, class, or collective action in arbitration, court, or otherwise. As a champion or customer, I understand that this means that there will be no right or authority for any dispute to be brought, heard, or arbitrated as a class or collective action by me or LadyBoss. So when you sign these terms, you are waiving your right to go to court, whether you are going to a jury like we saw in the non-disclosure, or you are joining a class action lawsuit. Moving on to 9.1, bonus and commission qualifications. Letter B, LadyBoss will not issue a payment in any form to a champion without the receipt of a champion's annual membership and renewal membership fee and completed electronic enrollment as a LadyBoss champion, including the champion's acceptance and agreement to the champion agreement. LadyBoss reserves the right to postpone bonus and commission payments until such time the cumulative amount exceeds $25. Again, if you are not paying your $97 membership fee, until you pay that, if it's due, you will not get paid. So this is interesting and contradictive again. So 10.1, general product ordering policy. Bonus buying is strictly and absolutely prohibited. Bonus buying includes all of those things that are on the screen that you can read, and purchasing excessive amounts of products, services, or subscribe and saves that cannot be reasonably used or resold in a month. Number 10.2, sales to customers. Letter A, sales to retail customers may be done directly directly through a champion's replicated website or directly using product that LadyBoss has in inventory. But don't bonus buy. You shouldn't have inventory. You shouldn't be bonus buying. But if somebody wants to buy, they can buy from your inventory. Okay, section 10.3, insufficient funds, letter D. At the end, they have a note, participation by champions in LadyBoss's monthly subscribe and save, which is a recurring product order program, is entirely optional and is not required in order to become a champion, move up in rank, or otherwise fully participate in the rewards program, which is false, because as we saw in things that we went over, there are certain bonuses and compensations that you only receive if you have a subscribe and save running as a champion. So section 10.6, refund policy. Letter B, LadyBoss Champion. If within the first 30 days from the date of delivery, you are not satisfied with the product, you must contact help at LadyBoss to return the unused portion of the product for a full refund minus shipping and handling charges. Your champion account will then be subject to a 6-month suspension. So if you return anything, your champion account can get suspended. Here's the process to return product. 10.7, return process. All returns, whether by a customer or champion, must be made as followed. You have to get a return merchandise authorization from LadyBoss. Then you have to ship the items to the address provided by LadyBoss customer service when you do get approval. You then have to provide a copy of the approval and the receipt and the reason for the return. You then have to ship the product back in the original manufacturer's box exactly as it was delivered. Sir or ma'am, I have taken it out of the box and decided that I don't want it anymore. So it's not going to be in its original packaging. Who hoards boxes like that? The return of $500 or more of products accompanied by a request for a refund within 1 calendar year of champion may constitute grounds for involuntary termination. I just don't understand why. Why? If somebody has returns to make and it happens to be a total of $500 in a year, they still sell like, I don't know, $15,000 a year somehow. Why are you terminating them? Because they made a return? Don't we live in a free country? I'm not sure. As a LadyBoss champion, it is important to not converse with any person who places a negative post against you or champions or LadyBoss. Report negative posts to LadyBoss. Responding to such negative posts often simply fuels a discussion with someone carrying a grudge that does not hold themselves to the same high standards as LadyBoss and therefore damages the reputation and goodwill of LadyBoss. Toxic positivity once again. Okay, so here's where it says under section 16.0, subscribe and save cancellation. Letter A at the bottom, it says you may cancel at any time without penalty by emailing them. All subscribe and save cancellations must be performed or delivered to LadyBoss within 3 business days prior to your next shipment to guarantee cancellation of that shipment. So again, if you decide that you are canceling your shipment, it has to be within 3 days. So I hope you loved this deep dive. Make sure you spread the word. Let everybody know what LadyBoss is now so that they don't fall into the trap. There's so many LadyBoss followers that have been around for a while that have been drinking the Kool-Aid already, so they have fallen into this trap, and I don't think it's going to end well at all. So spread the word. Make sure you subscribe. That is the best way to support me and my channel, and I appreciate you so much for watching this and hanging out with me. I will see you next time. In the meantime, go and check out this video, and I will see you over there.